Member for Waite.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. And indeed, I know you have in recent times wondered what we do in this place. Many outside these walls do as well. So I thought I'd take my time in this grief to explain what I've been doing in this House around petitions and what it means for the people of our communities. This year, my community has had many reasons to petition the Parliament and indeed the government, and I've been proud to assist in gaining signatures and tabling some very important local petitions. First of all, it's the one which we tabled just this week, is the Future of Crossroad petition, and it called on the state government not to allow Crossroad to become a major freight route and investigate alternatives to transporting freight throughout our state. Signed by thousands of South Australians, this was tabled this week. And after tabling that petition, I'm glad that I received a letter from the Minister for Infrastructure and Transport outlining that the government indeed has no plans to drive more trucks down Crossroad, and a plan indeed to get more trucks off the Crossroad and down track off the South Eastern Freeway. And I think this is a wonderful announcement by the government, and thank them for working with my community to ensure that this has happened. But of course, this has seen a lot of change in policy from the government in terms of transport down what I call on the flats in the electorate, around saving the Waite Gatehouse, of course saving Mitcham Service SA as well, which is something that we did. These two campaigns, which I know the member for Flory had a huge part to do as well in saving the Service SA in her community, these campaigns have received large community support, and at the time when these proposals were on the table were seen as very negative for the government, and I'm glad to see that the petitions have worked in getting change from government. Another campaign which is gaining more and more attention is about the safety improvement of Waite Road and Crossroad in Erdbray, and many hundreds of residents have signed this petition, which I again tabled this week, to ask the government to invest in a new solution for this troublesome intersection around passenger and indeed commuter safety. With more and more accidents, and there was just one there the other week, we need to act now to protect lives on our roads. Northcote Street, up on Shepherd's Hill Road, we tabled a petition urging the government to take immediate action to install a pedestrian crossing at Northcote Street to allow pedestrians to access the Blackwood Primary School and High School sites. Of course, we've got the Eden Hill CFS station at that intersection, Carina Reserve, Sturt Lions Soccer Club, of course the wonderful Eden Hill Scout Club that I know they're looking for desperately for some funding and new facilities there as well. So, really important intersection, and so important that that one is improved. Of course, one campaign which we're still working on, and for some reason I can't understand why the government won't support it, and still waiting for the opposition to pin their colours to the mast as well, is around supporting Scouts and Girl Guides in terms of having them being eligible for the sports voucher program. Currently, the scheme allows for primary school-aged families to claim $100 in return for participating in eligible recreational activities, and indeed our community was successful in lobbying the state government to expand that scheme to cover all families from reception to Year 9 starting in 2022. But we need to do more to ensure that Scouts SA and Girl Guides SA are covered by this scheme. Recently, the CEO of Girl Guides South Australia, Kerry Ackermans, wrote to me saying, and I quote, "Girl Guides SA supports our inclusion in this scheme, as do over our 1,300 family members who would benefit from the vouchers." She went on to say, "The vouchers will offset some of the annual fee for participation, which for some families is a cost prohibitive due to financial hardship." Why the government and indeed the opposition won't commit to supporting families who choose to participate in Girl Guides and scouting activities, can't be use the sport voucher scheme, is beyond me. And of course, taking a different note is our live music industry. I also presented a petition on behalf of 777 residents of SA requesting that live music gigs, events and venues are no longer targeted with singing and dancing bands and venue capacity restrictions and receive the same capacity limits as sporting events. Our music and our live industries are doing it so tough at the moment. Just this morning on radio, we had the owner of the Grace Emily and Dilla Armstrong from Sugar talk about how hard it is to get insurance in the hospitality industry at the moment. Allowing live music and dancing at our venues is so critical to their ongoing success, but also to those, not only the industries, but those who provide live music, our musicians, to really have an income and to contribute to society. And indeed, also one petition that I presented today, this week, was from 3,625 residents asking for the government to no longer declare the state of emergency in respect to the outbreak of the COVID-19. Of course, all petitions are so important to driving change in our in our community and to ensure that we have a debate. And just want to, in the last minute I have, is to thank the member for Flora in her work around petitions and ensuring that any petition that has over 10,000 people gets properly reviewed by the Legislative Review Committee. It's so important that Parliament continues to listen to the voice of the people.